Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm here at my local ATF headquarters. Like I was saying, my local ATF headquarters to ask about the one thing everybody's wondering about. Braces.
The stabilizing brace.
Stabilized braces.
Specifically, whether or not it's a felony to now do this.
Stop right there!
Wait, no, guys, it's for a video. No!
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. Well, you see, my name is Brandon Herrera, and I'm a gun YouTuber. But when I'm not shooting stuff, sometimes I also make videos letting my audience know about important things, like potential changes in gun laws. One of those laws that I did a video on was the recent ATF Final Rule on pistol braces, making them a felony. Since then, there's been a lawsuit over it, a congressional bill, and no shortage of stupid anti-gun politicians. But the real question is this: are braces still legal? But even more importantly, what is a brace and what do they do? Well, as of a few days ago, our fearless Commander-in-Chief explained that wonderfully.
Stabilized braces. Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun.
Except it doesn't do literally any of that. That's not an opinion, that's not debatable, it's not even close. This is an arm brace. Scary, right? Not really. It's a piece of plastic that doesn't affect the mechanical function of the firearm whatsoever. It's an ergonomic accessory that makes it easier to hold, or stabilize, if you will. But the size of the round, the speed of the bullet, or how fast the weapon fires, all completely unaffected whether or not you have a brace, a stock, or nothing at all on the back of your weapon. In fact, it was originally designed so that disabled veterans could fire their AR pistols easier. People who may not have the luxury of having two hands to stabilize the weapon. And now somehow politicians who don't understand guns are upset that they aren't regulated, thinking somehow that the brace makes the gun more dangerous, fully automatic, or whatever the fuck it is they think.
A veteran can buy a brace any day of the year.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'd get her point here. Did you not want them to sell braces on Sunday, like this is Chick-fil-A or some shit?
You can buy the brace without a background check.
Yeah, no shit. You don't need a background check because it's not a firearm. It attaches to the rear of a firearm, one that you would have to get a background check to purchase. You don't need a background check to buy a brace, but you don't need a background check to buy a stock either. Again, piece of plastic, they're like 25 bucks. They sell them everywhere. Anyhow, the ATF announced an ominous-sounding final rule earlier this year, stating that arm braces are now going to be regulated like NFA items, such as, short-barrel rifles, suppressors, pre-86 machine guns, and so on. Which is really weird, considering that when arm braces were first invented over 10 years ago, the ATF themselves were the ones who said that they were perfectly legal for use and not considered NFA items. They approved them as legal. Silly me, I forgot the word of a government agency means absolutely nothing. But anyhow, this new rule technically took effect the end of May this year. This rule means that the possession of a legal pistol with an arm brace is now punishable by 10 years in federal prison and $250,000 fine per offense. Meaning if you had 5 or 6 of these things and you didn't get the memo, you might quite literally have essentially a life sentence chilling in your gun safe.
By the way, while we're here, if you also think the ATF intervention has gone way too damn far, go ahead and subscribe, because, you're our kind of people, and our kind of people need to stick together. Especially when you can go to jail for this. Fucking stupid.
Now, the ATF is a law enforcement agency. Why are they legally able to be making up their own laws? Shouldn't new federal laws have to be in bills that are passed by Congress and then signed by the president? Well, yes. And thankfully, some great people were willing to step up and call them on it. Awesome groups like the Firearm Policy Coalition, National Association for Gun Rights, and Gun Owners of America stepped to the plate. They immediately filed lawsuits to stop the ATF from moving forward with this plan. And believe it or not, they're winning. Now, don't celebrate just yet. Let's clarify what winning means in this case. So basically, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals granted them an injunction, which is like a pause on enforcing a particular law in question. Not for everybody, though. To my understanding, the court decided that only the plaintiffs, which would be the existing members of FPC and GOA, would be covered by the injunction. So even though those groups were suing to overturn this law for everybody, currently the injunction only covers their previously existing members. Which sucks, because if it covered new members, that means I could just say that, hey, the easy way around the brace ban is go become a member of FPC or GOA or NAGR or whatever, which I implore you to do anyway, but unfortunately it's not going to get you out of shit. But don't give up hope just yet. This is just an injunction while the suit continues to go to higher court. The lawsuits are still moving forward, and I would recommend, if you don't already, support some of those groups that I mentioned before. FPC, GOA, NAGR, there's some awesome groups, and they are actually making progress in getting some of this shit overturned. Another group on top of that I'd like to talk about really quickly is great for those of you who carry a handgun every day, like I do. The group is USCCA. One of their many purposes is basically to make sure that if you have to, use your handgun in self-defense and, body somebody, USCCA is there to make sure that even though you did everything right, the court system doesn't try to financially ruin your fucking life. And this month they've got a bunch of cool promotional free stuff if you sign up to be a member, so the links are down in the description, the pinned comment. We appreciate their support of the channel. Anyhow, that's some of the progress that these pro-gun groups were making, but remember this is a multi-front effort. So let's move over to Congress and see what's going on there. Aside from rampant satanic orgies and kitty diddling, there was recently a bill that was introduced to the House that would effectively kill the ATF's new stabilizing brace rule. It would also reaffirm that Congress is the one that has the ability to write the laws, and regulatory/law enforcement agencies like the ATF are only there to enforce them, not write their own. The bill itself was introduced by Georgia Republican Andrew Clyde, who's actually an FFL himself, being the owner of Clyde Armory. So he knows all too well about the fuckery afoot with the ATF at a federal level. But the bill was introduced to the House and it ended up passing 219 to 210. Now, all House Republicans who voted on this bill voted in favor of it, with the exception of 2 turncoats. And because I believe in holding people accountable, their names are Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania and Tom Keene of New Jersey. Now, if either of those 2 men happen to be your congressman, I would recommend reaching out to their office and politely informing them that, as their constituents, that was not very fucking cash money of them. I expect Democrats to be anti-gun. That kind of comes with the party platform. So when they do it, is it still violative of the Constitution? Yes, of course, but it's not a surprise. They're doing what they said they were going to do. What I am very fucking tired of is Republicans who say that they're for gun rights and then turn around and vote for gun control. Most of them are good about it, but it only takes a couple. This even includes the Republican congressman here in my own district here in San Antonio, Texas, Tony Gonzalez, who voted for Biden's post-Uvalde gun control bill. The Democrats are pretty solidly on board with attacking gun rights in this country. If only a couple Republican turncoats let them, it's over for us. We have to hold these Republicans accountable. And if they don't uphold their promise to protect our constitutionally guaranteed natural rights, we have to primary them and replace them with somebody who will. That is my short political rant of the day. I'm just getting angry now, so I am moving on. Anyhow, the unfortunate thing about this bill is that it is still pretty likely, even though that it passed the House, to die in the Senate. As even if we get a tie vote, ties in the Senate are broken by the vice president, which means Kamala Harris will be personally deciding to single-handedly send people to prison. Again. I'm told there is still a chance and there is some strategic pressure being put on some Democratic senators, but I'm not holding my breath. Even if it does pass the Senate, Biden has already said he's going to veto it. But at least in that case, he'll have to personally take responsibility for being the reason that that bill dies, against the wishes of Congress. I just really hope that those senators realize before they vote that if they ever wanted to get their start in gunsmithing and weapons technology, go to Sonoran Desert Institute or SDI.edu. Gotcha. You gotta be ready for me. It can happen at any time. Main sponsor of the channel, we appreciate them. Links are down in the description and in the pinned comment, as always. Moving on from Congress, the last thing I really did want to talk about, and my favorite topic of the video actually, compliance rate. So the 4-month amnesty period is completely over, and this brace ban has now technically been in effect for about 3 weeks now at time of recording. With estimates between 10 and 40 million pistol braces in circulation, how many of those gun owners decided to legally comply and register their braced pistol with the ATF as part of their amnesty that they offered? I'll give you a minute to chew on that. Write your answers down in the comments. What percentage of gun owners do you think complied with this? Go ahead and lock in your answers now, post those comments, and here's the answer. The amount of braced pistols registered under the amnesty, according to the ATF themselves, around 255,000. Which best case scenario for them is about 8%. But if you go on the high estimate of the numbers of braces in circulation, the compliance rate is 0.6%. Meaning it is very possible that less than 1% of braces in this country were actually registered in the amnesty when they were supposed to. Meaning millions of brace owners just did not fucking comply with this. They did not in fact register their brace pistols, and they either, temporarily removed them, or more likely just kind of decided to wait this one out and see where this is going to go. I'm not here to give you legal advice one way or the other, but based. So that's basically the status of braces from the judicial, legislative, and practical perspective. If you have a braced weapon and refuse to register it, awesome. Just do me a favor and don't tell me on this very public forum owned by the biggest tech company on the planet. It's based as fuck, but it's also kind of like the War Thunder classified documents leak. So do whatever you decide to do, just don't fucking tell me about it. I am not an attorney. Thank God. But I hope you guys found this video informative and useful. If you're new to the channel especially, we try to usually keep this a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit more comedic. I just think stuff like this is important to talk about, and I have the platform to do it, which means potentially I have the platform to make an actual difference with it. So thank you guys so much for being here for that. And by the way, if you wanted to support the channel as well, you can pick up these sweet shirts available at Bunker Branding. It's the Let's Go Brandon with the silhouette of the V2 AK-50. You know what? We might have to update these to the V3 soon. So these V2 AK-50 shirts might be a collector's item. These might go away any minute, you don't know. But if you want to snag one, go ahead and go down to Bunker Branding. Links are in the description and in the pinned comment. I appreciate you guys for staying all the way to the end, and as always, I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top.
Did I take the brace down fucking stairs? God damn it, yes I did.
Specifically, whether or not it's a felony to do this. Wait, no, it's for a video. No. Wait, no, it's for a video, guys. No. Perfect. That was fucking beautiful.